The healing traditions of First Nations people have been practiced in North America for thousands of years. It was as natural as the trees you see around me, and still is. We've all experienced illnesses in our lives, some as simple as the common cold, others serious, like diabetes or cancer, and we try everything to cure them. On this episode of Indigenous Circle, we'll take you on a healing journey, one that is tied directly to Mother Nature using plants like these as the cure. Traditional healing is strong in North America. No longer is it secretive or outlawed by governments, but it is sacred and should be respected, and you'll learn much more about the healing earth on this Indigenous Circle special. Tea time for Lorraine Uzijipi is more than about sitting and enjoying the flavor. For her, it's about tradition and the benefits of nature as a healer.
Mother Earth is a big, gigantic garden, and she plants, and we got to respect that. We got to put our tobacco, take what we need, and say thank you.
Lorraine lives on Stoney Buffalo First Nation just west of Fort Qu'Appelle. She's been here all her life. Her reason for being is to help others. She does so by picking and distributing medicinal plants, a lifestyle passed down through generations.
This is the Dakota way. Oh, now it's time to pick this, now it's time to pick that, you know, and store them in a good way, clean and store them in that.
The plants she refers to are everywhere. They grow beside her home, in the valley, along the hills. They've always been there. She recalls days when picking medicines was as common as going to the drugstore.
What our grandmothers and grandfathers and our parents showed us, the basic, health to keep ourselves clean inside and out and from catching colds. We also do this to test your patience. We need the hazelnut in here because it's full of protein, it's got oils, we need them for our digestion.
Lorraine shares her knowledge freely. She travels the province with her teas, medicines, and healthy foods, explaining their benefits.
There again, this tea is good for your blood. It'll clean out your arteries, so you can pass that around.
On this day, the grade 6 and 7 students at Stoney Buffalo School are learning what it means to be one with nature.
You know, it's better to teach the children now, and even to eat the foods.
There is a process. Reputable medicine people know that using plants as a cure isn't simple or straightforward. For Lorraine, the process usually starts with tea from plants, but
to go traditional, you really have to believe in the Creator.
Knowledge and how to use the products of Mother Earth may seem overwhelming for these kids. Lorraine often takes the lessons beyond the classroom.
You know, a lot of kids come to my place and they know how they'll start to learn to pick them.
Lorraine may come across like a doctor, though she doesn't claim to be a healer. She does, however, carry a cure for what ails most people. Cures that some might consider weeds, yet so much more for this class.
Because usually dandelions are just normally grow, and I'm and then today I was like, holy, it's cool.
Anything you could take outside, you could blend it into a tea of some sort, anything. Yeah, and you could use it as medicine to clean out your body.
Like any animal that eats that stuff can heal them too. Everything in the environment it's good for.
Plants that heal can be found most anywhere. You just have to know where to look and what to look for. I'm on the Akwesasne First Nation, and it truly is a one-of-a-kind reserve. It sits on the borders of 2 provinces and 1 state. I'm on the New York side, and just across the St. Lawrence River is Ontario, and further down over there is Quebec. When most people hear the word Akwesasne, they automatically think cigarette smuggling and border control issues. There's no denying that does happen here, but there's something else going on, and it has everything to do with nature and healing. Eddie Gray and Della Adams live on Akwesasne. The pair have dedicated their lives to helping others. Their path to good health begins with what grows around them. They believe the Creator put plants on earth to help everyone.
It's just like the animals, huh? We can survive off the lands, the plants is our medicines.
Akwesasne has more than 12,000 members. It is a picturesque community with several rivers running through it.
And this is basically probably one of the bigger Mohawk territories, and it's called Akwesasne. And it's where the land where the partridge drums is what it translates into.
In many respects, it is a thriving community with a large casino, hotel, gas stations, and numerous smoke shops. The U.S. and Canadian border divides the community. It is one of the most secure border crossings in North America.
It's just something it's a norm for us. The only time we really feel it is when we cross through the border that the governments have imposed on our territory.
Eddie and Della work side by side using traditional medicine to cure a variety of illnesses. Each has their own role in the treatment. Eddie willingly shares what he knows as he gathers plants and roots.
This here we use as our mind medicine, right?
The medicine walk is for anyone with an interest in nature and its health-giving bounty. There is no shortage. The plants are not hidden, and they are as close as your doorstep.
It's just weed that grows all around your house, but you don't really notice that this is actually medicine. Whether you have poison ivy, any disruption on your skin, we use this as a salve, and it's called plantain. The stinging nettle leaves is good for your whole system. It's good for menopausal state where they get hot flashes. It eases up, even helps cramping on their monthly. So you would just strip the leaves, but you'd have to use gloves to strip it because it'll sting you. Huh? The liver is blue thistle or milk thistle. You would dig the root out, wash it off from the dirt, and then what you would do, let it dry inside and never outside in the sunlight. I know a lot of people want to dry it real fast. They leave it in the sunlight and it dehydrates the root. All the good stuff floats into the air. That is our white corn that's been planted for generations. Okay. Corn is our substance that we eat. The husk is used as medicine. And the hair on that is really important too. Like right now you can buy corn, sweet corn, and you can husk it, save the hair, put it on the bottom because you only have to brew it for like 10 minutes and the corn's ready. Drink that water and it's good for your kidneys. Oh. Cleans out your kidneys of stones and bladder. Yeah. It cleans it all the way out. It sort of acts as a diuretic.
The healing plants are always picked or dug up by hand. The task is usually easy, but not always.
Yep, I got it. Good job. So this is the part we would use on this burdock. This is the part that's 50% insulin.
Like Lorraine Yuzichipi in the Capel Valley, Eddie's knowledge of healing has been passed down through generations. He was born at Akwesasne. The medicines have always been around him.
So that's all we did was go pick medicines. They say pick it for the winter months. You got to go pick this, pick that. So we would harvest all the stuff throughout the summer as they get ripe.
Understanding nature's medicine is a lifelong endeavor. Beyond knowing the plants themselves, healers often talk of 4 major elements: physical, emotional, mental, and above all, spiritual. More about that and how they fit into the puzzle of good health from a healing earth when we return. The medical clinic at Akwesasne operates like most clinics, but with one major difference. Besides visiting the dentist or doctor, patients can visit a one-of-a-kind program. It's called Anukwa Ue, which translates as medicine in the Mohawk language. This is a place where clients are treated with medicine directly from the earth.
Our people wanted to go back to our own ways of medicine. So it's better off we take you right out there and we'll show you what that medicine is.
Della Adams is the director of the program. She works with traditional medicine man Eddie Gray. Together, they've helped hundreds of people.
I'll really explain to you in detail how our program works and the different services and resources that we have available for you.
There's turtle socks and mullein together, which will help you breathe. And when you take this home, get a gallon of water, boil it for 25 minutes, and then drink 3 cups per day.
The Akwesasne program didn't just happen.
If the people weren't ready, if our community wasn't ready at that time, we would have not succeeded. The foundation of our program is to treat the problem, not the symptom.
But there is a difference between treating and getting to the root of a problem. Della's team pursues 4 principles of true healing: emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual.
And this is how we're different from the Western world, is that when you go see a doctor, he's just going to treat you he's going to look at your physical symptoms, that's it. And so when we look at a person, we need to look at that whole person holistically.
This is how it works. A person can go to the clinic and see a regular doctor. If he or she feels the need for a more holistic cure, they can visit the Akwesasne program. They are assessed by Della, who develops a medical history. She offers them 2 options. One is to simply take the traditional medicine and hope it works.
And this is what option number 2 would be. How about we start to dig and we start to take some of that garbage out of your system? And then when we can get rid of some of that garbage that you've been hanging on to, now let's put the medicine in there. Now let's do the ceremonies, now let's do the exercise, the nutrition, the love, and now let's put that back in there and nourish that body back up to health.
There's 2 spirits around you. And
Troy Green is part of the team treatment. Once the assessment is complete, Troy takes over. As a seer, he is able to use his gifts to look inside a patient.
A person's body is not just a physical body, it's what Spirit's always been teaching me, like we're all composed of all those bodies, and when one is affected, all are affected.
Troy is from Six Nations Reserve in southern Ontario. He says he's had sort of a sixth sense for as long as he can remember.
I denied it too many times. I ran away from it.
In his 20s, denial gave way to acceptance. Today, he uses his gift to help others. Once Troy does his assessment, the client moves on to Eddie Gray. Gray's knowledge of plants is then channeled to an individual's ailment.
So everything that grows on earth is beneficial to your body.
Once nature's prescription has been delivered, patients are encouraged to seek out spiritual practices like sweat lodges and pipe ceremonies.
Now they have this turnaround and their health starts to physically, you can actually see their health starting to come back up. Hey Troy, here's your medicines Eddie sent over for you.
And Troy Green knows of what Della Adams speaks. Even a seer can become ill. A few years ago, he suffered a major stroke, slipped into a coma, and at one point was considered dead.
They say you go into this white light tunnel. I never went there. All I remember is going to a void, but it wasn't a bad void.
When he finally awoke, the road to recovery was rough.
I was in a wheelchair, I was in a walker, I didn't know how to pee or poo, or I lost everything.
Troy spent months in hospital. The natural healer came to accept modern medical remedies and is thankful for them. But all along, Troy Green knew the path to healing came from the earth and the spiritual practices woven into his culture.
I think, honestly, if it wasn't for the medicines, they helped me.
If traditional healing is rooted in the earth and Indigenous culture, patients also have one other thing in common: belief. When we return, if you do not believe, there's only so much a healing earth can do. Everything is medicine.
Everything is medicine.
Dave McDonald is free, and no more so than on an autumn day in the woods in northern Saskatchewan, surrounded by a world he loves and respects. But MacDonald wasn't always free nor respectful of life and the nature he now embraces.
Nobody could tell me anything. I didn't like being told what to do. I couldn't even function.
He had been in and out of jail for years before he killed a man in 1991. That was the same year in which he had a spiritual awakening. It came in the form of a vision in which an elder appeared to him in jail, instructing him to change his ways.
I actually literally, physically fell to my knees and I just started crying. From then on, I swore and made a promise that I would change my life around, that I would do the best I could to help others.
Dave has kept that promise. He has dedicated his life to helping others, his way, through traditional medicine. He doesn't consider himself a medicine man, but has learned the ways of a healing earth.
I started learning about the medicines.
Don Case reaches out to Dave MacDonald for help. Case has diabetes and visits Dave regularly. There's no clinic or examination room, just a kitchen, a table, medicine, and tea. Don knows nature's medicine is helping. Still, he follows the advice of an elder who cautioned, be open to all forms of healing.
Because I said, I can't take that medicine you're giving me because, you know, I'm taking my doctor's medicine. He said, oh, no, they'll complement one another.
Natural healing hasn't always been accepted by those outside First Nations. Prior to 1960, traditional ceremonies and healing practices were outlawed by church and government. Indian agents and RCMP patrolled reserves. Anyone caught practicing the old ways would be fined or jailed. But the traditions continued, hidden from prying eyes and government meddling.
When there's a gathering of 4 or more Indians, as they would say, in a household, they would come in and they would break up the gathering.
And if they had to do a ceremony, they would have to do it in a cellar, block all the windows, make sure there was no light.
And our father said, well, all what we teach you here, it'll be kind of put on hold because we're not supposed to do this. But he said, everything is in your heart. And when you're ready, you'll bring it out.
I always acknowledge is those ones who managed to carry the healing practices and the ceremonies underground for that many years to today being what it is, because today it's, geez, very appropriate, isn't it, to be Indian?
Appropriate may be the key word.
In other words, you take an issue and try to turn it inside out.
Bill Asikanak teaches Indigenous studies at the First Nations University. He has seen a resurgence in traditional medicine. The Ojibwe elder and historian says acceptance is essential to 7 important prophecies passed down through countless generations.
All different peoples would be turning to us for learning how to survive and thrive in our modern world.
Increasingly, earth-grown cures are being sought out by the general population.
People are beginning to pick up on some of these natural plants and how they help us.
I think there's a huge cultural component that I don't understand as a white person.
When it comes to traditional healing, physician Jerry Danielson is interested mostly in outcome.
I'm not terribly concerned as to how people get the best outcome, and that cultural side I think can be extremely powerful in the healing process, because traditionally it would be better if they did certain things.
Danielson offers treatments which are approved by the College of Physicians and Surgeons.
So if somebody comes to me and says, I want to try traditional medicine, I would say, okay, that's fine, as long as you're fairly certain that it's not harmful. But let me be involved maybe in perhaps monitoring you. Perhaps I made the diagnosis and now you want to try something a bit different. If I can explain to you the things that I can look at, maybe I can help monitor that for you.
Practitioners of traditional medicine often welcome a doctor's input, but urge caution.
What about that heart medicine? And it happens to be a doctor, and I said, whoa, what? No, don't know. Because we do, as First Nations, have serious trust issues.
Trust issues run deep.
But then on the other side of that, you've got our own people who tell others, and a lot of them are old people, that yeah, I can heal you, I have the medicine, but it's going to cost you $2,500. I don't do that. I can't do that.
So if you don't have a good heart or a good mind, you're not going to find those medicines because you're not treating them the right way.
Holistic healing may not be for everyone, and it's not always up to the medicine man to heal. Patients have to do their part, looking first for a reputable medicine person and then believing that the earth's healers will work, strengthening the spirit and body. But as with mainstream life, patients often wait until they are in the last stages of their illness. Often, it is too late.
And then they say, oh, that's BS, that doesn't work, we tried that, and that's all bogus.
And the other thing is, because of the skepticism, they don't necessarily believe that it will work.
When you make the dandelion tea, it cleans out our blood.
Lorraine Yuzichipi is confident about the future. Her destiny is to share the knowledge. She prays children are open to learning about a healing earth.
It's just for us parents and grandparents to continue to teach them, to keep up our culture.
Because when we get older and we could pass it on to our children, then they could pass it on to their children.
I would tell people that everything in this world has a spirit inside.
Then we're the future. We have to take care of the earth and everything.
The people you've seen in this show are making a difference. To them, the plants are vital to our survival. The earth is our healer, and as you've seen, it's always available to us. But it's not as simple as going out and grabbing a few plants or roots. There is a process which involves spirituality, emotion, belief, and most importantly, respect. Respect for nature and respect for ourselves. Only then can we benefit from the healing earth. I'm Nelson Bird. Thanks for watching.